Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful one out there today. A beautiful day. It's lovely out here. Weather's nice. Today we're going to be listening to Pete Atkin. We're going to listen to this track, Driving Through Mythical America. This is off the album of the same name, released 1971. I've never heard of Pete Atkin, but we're listening to this track because it was suggested by Martin Patterson. So Martin, thank you so much for the suggestion. And I also see that this was recommended by Mike J. Cross. So thank you guys so much for the suggestion on this one. Like I said, never heard of him. They don't know a thing about him, but we're going to go ahead and give it a listen. So let's go ahead and pull it up. We'll talk about it a little bit after. Here we go.
Heroes ride out through the sunlight gate and out of the sunset return.
Wait a second. Hold on. I clicked Driving Through. I'm looking at it right now. Oh, because I clicked the album. I apologize. I'm looking. I'm like, the lyrics do not make sense with what I'm listening. And I saw it pulled. Okay. Apologize about that. Even though it was a nice sound. I like the way it was starting up on. That was Sunlight Gate. All right, let me get to the actual track we're supposed to listen to. Driving Through Mythical America. Here we go. One more time. Okay, this is different.
For students in the usual light of day, set out to speak their minds about the war, unaware that Eddie Prue was on the way. Things had to snap before they knew the score. They were driving through mythical America. A Groening garland shows in the barn. Fields was at the Pussycat Cafe. No one had even heard of Herman Kahn.
It has a Joni Mitchell sound to it.
And Jersey Joe was eager for the fray. For students had to take it in their stride and couldn't feel the road beneath the wheels of the car they didn't know they rode inside. Across the set and through the cardboard hills, they were driving through mythical America.
Nice moving
They
bass
sold
line.
their Studebaker.
That pullback is just so good.
Bought a Nash Ambassador saloon. Bogart said even the dead can talk. And suddenly the coats were all raccoon. Students never knew that this was it. There isn't much a target needs to know. Already, Babyface had made the hit, and Rosebud was upended in the snow. They were driving through mythical America. Gatsby floated broken in the pool.
That gentle hum beneath it.
The Kansas City Seven found a groove. Barrymore and Lombard played the fool, and Cheetah slowly taught John Wayne to move. For students, watch the soldiers load and aim, and never tumbled, they were on the spot. Moose Malloy pulled 10 years on a frame. The dough was phony and the car was hot. They were driving through mythical America. for
Love that drum
paid
break
$7
transition back to a
day.
verse.
Rockwell did the covers on the Post. FDR set up the TVA. And the stars rode silver trains from coast to coast. Poor students blinked at ordinary skies, but the sunlight came from thousands of motels. A highway through the night was in their eyes. And waiting at the roadblock, Orson Welles. They were driving through mythical America. For students never
was like a
guessed
tight
that
little
they
drum
were
fill.
through. Their history had them covered like a gun. It hit them like a bolt out of the blue. Too quick to grasp and far too late to run. They crashed and
Little drum
died
shift.
together in the sun. They were driving through mythical America.
Now the drum is really going off. It's like a surfer kind of beat, almost. Surf rock. Yeah, that was a really cool track. It was like it had the kind of grunginess that Neil Young has in his 70s output that we've listened to, because like Neil Young has like a certain kind of guitar tone when he goes into that heavier rock edge, and it kind of sounds proto-grunge. I'm getting something kind of similar here with Pete Atkin. I know that Pete is going to be the singer, but the guitar on this particular track is going to be performed by Chris Spedding on here. Just really, really fantastic guitar. I love his singing as well. He's like, he really does remind me of like Neil Young or like an artist like that, where they have something to say. There's a message to what they're saying in it. The cat came in, so I'll go closing the door again. Like, I really, really enjoyed how the messages work into the song, you know? The bass playing was very moving throughout. I really like the drumming, however. The drumming on this track is going to be performed. I'm looking through the personnel list. It may be either Clenny Clark or Barry Morgan, I believe. But I don't have confirmation on either of those. But either way, I love how snappy the drumming was. The transitions, especially from the chorus into the verse, were done really, really nicely. Very, very tight, precise in the grooves. And every time like it moved into that transition, it was already a great moment going from the chorus, like built up into the verse, which is definitely a lot more subtle and slower. But the transition between those was just really well done, to me, courtesy of the drums. Then later on, the horns begin to come in. You have clarinet, trumpet and such, and it's just really, really nice. And I know we didn't listen to it, but the first track was beginning to sound nice as well, the way that it was starting up, Sunlight Gate. But let's dive into what he's talking about here on Mythical America, which I'm actually not quite sure at all. 4 students in the usual light of day set out to speak their minds about the war. Okay, protest. Unaware that Eddie Prue was on the way, things had to snap before they knew the score. So as you're going through the lyrics, there's a lot of different references, which I'm going to be honest, I do not, don't grasp half of them. I mean, I would imagine, all right, Eddie Prue's on the way. Who's Eddie Prue? If you give it a Google, I'm assuming... Actually, I don't know. It could be many of these things. Director, but these are modern films, so I doubt that's who that's referencing. I got no idea at all. They're driving through Mythical America. A Rooney Garland show was in the barn. Fields was at the Pussycat Cafe. No one had even heard of Herman Kahn. I haven't. And Jersey Joe was eager for the fray. Let's do it. I'm not going to Google every single one. American physicist. Okay. Let's get a little info on him. American physicist and founding member of the Hudson Institute, regarding as one of the preeminent futurists of the latter part of the 20th century. Originally came to prominence as a military strategist and systems theorist. Kahn posited the idea of a winnable nuclear exchange in his 60 book on thermonuclear war. All right, well, there's a lot of stuff there. Like I said, this is Dante's Inferno levels of references and citations that I'm not going to understand. 4 students had to take it in their stride and couldn't feel the road beneath the wheels of the car they didn't know they rode inside, across the set and through the cardboard hills. They are driving through mythical America. So I get the journey part. These 4 students who, at least in the start, they're protesting. They're setting out to speak their minds about the war. Now, as they're setting out, I believe that this is the journey, because they're driving through mythical America with this message. But I'm not getting a lot of what it is. 4 students watched the soldiers load and aim, and never tumbled, they were on the spot. Moose Malloy pulled 10 years on a frame, the dough was phony, and the car was hot. I do like the progression, keeping with our main characters, these 4 students. They blinked at ordinary skies, but the sunlight came from thousands of motels. A highway through the night was in their eyes, and waiting at the roadblock, Orson Welles. Have you guys ever seen the wine commercial from Orson Welles? If you haven't, you have my permission to just leave this video immediately and go watch that. 4 students never guessed that they were through. Their history had covered them, covered like a gun. Had them covered like a gun. It hit them like a bolt out of the blue, too quick to grasp and far too late to run. They crashed and died together in the sun. They were driving through mythical America. So, America, this place of myth and legend and stories, and they are driving through mythical America to proclaim their message, to protest the war, as it says in the beginning. They come across a lot of different things, a lot of different references. And at the end, they crash and die together in the sun. Does that perhaps say that the people were powerless, like they were powerless to make any sort of change or enact any sort of change as they were driving in protest of things? I got no idea. I'm going to be honest. A lot of the lyrics flew over my head a little bit. But I think I'm heading in the right direction. Hopefully not in the exact same direction that these 4 were in. Thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you for suggesting the track. Of course, let me know your thoughts. Oh, by the way, I did forget to mention, I did have one little caveat with the track. I enjoyed it, but I did feel like it went on like a little bit too long. It was kind of long in the tooth, as they say. Anyways, otherwise, fun to listen to. Let me know what you guys think of it in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Come back tomorrow, and I will see you all later. Bye, guys.